Ready? Hit it.
Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
He calls himself
CharLee!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah.
Hey, Charlie. What's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Charlie!
CharLee Simons.
Charlie bit me.
What's a little bite among friends? Hello, my friend. I am CharLee Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk, talking about things you're never supposed to talk about, talking to the people I'm never supposed to talk to. This is Clint Curtis, and I am actually live at an event in Stockton, CA. This is where I went to college. When I left, I vowed to never come back, but yet here I am. I have a great honor of being here for this. Is a third or fourth Take Our California Back symposium event. Everything.
Whatever you want to call it.
It's everything. And one of the featured guest speakers has become one of my heroes. This is Clint Curtis. He's the registrar of voters in Shasta County. He's the one that was integral. Well, first of all, you and Supervisor Cry, and a couple other folks worked on getting rid of the voting machines.
Chris Kellstrom, Corky Harmon, and Patrick Jones.
Yeah.
When he was on there.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, the left lost their ever-loving minds trying to do a recall of Supervisor Fry and the whole deal.
Right.
But that was not successful, thank God. They didn't count on you.
They didn't count on me. Yeah. So now we're here just making it all right. We're actually have some sort of chain of custody for things, which they didn't have before. They just stuffed the ballots wherever they wanted to. They kind of did whatever they felt like. So their elections were probably not even close most of the time.
Some of the dirtiest in the state, and now that's the cleanest.
Yes.
I mean, you've done such an extraordinary job cleaning up that whole registrar of voters office in Shasta County. Congratulations.
We put everything under camera so everyone can see it every minute of the day.
Well, here's what happened. They got rid of Dominion, right? But the state of California stepped in and passed a law immediately that California had to use the machines, period. You didn't even have a choice. You came up with a way to bypass that, or at least go around it, didn't you?
Well, we came up with a way to basically neuter them. Yeah. Because before the machines would give
you a believe Governor Hairdo has been for quite a while neutered. Just an aside. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But essentially, they had the machines. You put them through. You weren't allowed to really check anything. You can't see the source code. You can't actually examine anything. It's completely off limits. So you are forced for blind trust in whatever that says. So what we have done is we put cameras above everything, and we actually flip through the ballots before it ever touches the machine. So the citizens can actually go and see exactly what the totals are. And they'll know if the machine counted correctly. And if it didn't, you now have evidence that you can use in court to say, this is the bad count, and here is the good count. And we do it once before. We send it through the tabulators, and then we do it again because the third one, a lot of people wonder, why do you do that? Because now you have the first one and third one. The third one becomes the ballot of record. So you have to make sure that it is still correct. Because as a programmer, you can change anything.
It is so simple.
It's so simple.
They literally, and it was cheap. That's the thing I love the most about it.
It's about,
and he didn't even use like fancy cameras or anything. He used cell phones, which have got very good quality cameras.
Great cameras. Great cameras. Sometimes the cell phones aren't that great, but the cameras are perfect. So you might get a cell phone that's
not even hooked up to the internet or anything like that. You're just using the camera feature.
Using the camera feature, you drop it down using a program called Droid Cam, which allows it to be used as just for a camera feature. You drop it into a free program called OBS, which allows it to be live streamed as well as recorded. And that's what we did. So all of our ballots were live streamed and recorded before they ever touched the tabulator, which means the tabulator is neutered, because if it goes bad, it can be caught.
You just saw it.
Right.
We all just saw it.
It also eliminates a lot of the issues with candidates if their contest is close. They can now go through and tabulate it themselves to see if it's correct. If it is, then they don't have to waste money on a recount. You don't even need that anymore. And if it isn't, you now have definite proof that it's wrong. So when you do recount, you know exactly where it is, because it's also a little timestamp at the top. So you can actually find which batch is wrong and what the numbers are and all that. So it kind of clears the whole thing up.
And he's doubled it up. You'll count literally every single ballot. Boom, right there in front of the camera. The camera sees this. Okay, there's that ballot for this person. There's that ballot for this initiative. There's that ballot. Yes, and this is how they voted. Put it into the legally enforced, have to use the
required
vote counting machine from the state of California. And then you count them again. You do it again.
Do it again.
The camera to make sure it matches up and nothing's changed.
Right. And it's actually faster than if you don't do it that way. Because if you only have two people, the tabulators we had max out about 3,000 per hour. That's how many ballots could go through it. So with the people doing it that we're doing it, you don't have to thumb through them because you're kind of doing that when doing a count. You then put it in the tabulator. You have another guy that's helping with watching that so he can do the figures for you, and then he does the final count. But the only thing you lose with that is the first count. And that's the only thing you really add because the rest of it just flows. And while they were doing it before, then they were doing it before, it was 1,200 is what they got out of the tabulator. That's a max out of a 3,000. We get 2,700 out of that same tabulator because it's a constant flow. And
how's the state of California going to try and throw a wrench into that?
I don't know. They have meaningful observation all through their code. So if they
meaningful observation.
If they tried to pass a law that says that's too much meaningful observation, then I guess I'll have to take them to court. But I don't think they'll want that because that's kind of pretty much admitting that they're trying to hide the ball.
And it will call attention to what you're doing, and other counties might start doing the same.
Right. Well, they should anyway.
How many registrar of voters, maybe you can't even answer this question. Give me a percentage off the top of the head, ballpark, or like you are really that interested in putting in the work to making sure every single election is completely honest.
Well, most of them are not.
Because it is an elected position.
Right.
And we don't pay attention to those races.
Well, sometimes it's elected. Mine is elected.
Yeah.
But
some are appointed.
Yeah, mine's in June 2nd, so you got to elect me again to make it happen.
Good.
But some of them are actually appointed. So, talk to your supervisors to get in here because actually it helps the ROV substantially. Because if you don't think the machines are wrong, you can actually prove it. It shouldn't hurt the system at all, right? Because you're not really adding anything. You're not adding any time really because, you're validating it and that's up to the public to do it. And so the ROV can basically say, well, I'm going to run the election. And if the machine is wrong, I'm glad that you caught it and I'll fix it. As opposed to, oh no, the machines are right. Because they don't know. They're not programmers, they're not lawyers. They're just a guy looking at a screen that was told it's fine. So, instead of having to defend the equipment, they can actually make sure the equipment's counting correctly.
And we've been told that all the systems are completely honest and above reproach, and you can't tap into it with the internet, so it can't be hacked. How true is that?
That's not true at all.
Not true at all.
As a programmer, there's 1,000 ways to hack in to a system that, even if it's not connected to the internet is HTTP, FTP, a few other protocols. But there are other protocols. There are cell towers. There are microwaves. Back in the old days when I started programming, we actually sent everything to the house wiring. So if you plug it in the wall, it's now networked. And you can still buy those today. You go on Amazon and put in network through house wiring
and all that, yeah.
And you have to go right through your house wire and you're good to go. So it's just so simple to do it, and people don't understand how it works.
Another thing they don't understand is many of these machines, maybe even all of them, actually have Bluetooth in them. Why would they have Bluetooth capabilities in these computers if they're not going to be hacked in from the outside?
Right. You can use Bluetooth, but there's so many ways for a programmer to set up a different protocol. Because once again, Bluetooth is basically a protocol. This is the signal I'm sending, and this is how I receive it, and this is how I talk to it. That's really all it is. There are thousands of ways to do it. And so to say that it can't be done is like crazy. I saw a Secretary of State, I can't remember what state it's in now, but they were up there giving about how the computers are air gapped, which means there's no network plugged into it. And then they picked up their cell phone. I'm thinking, do you not understand that there's no such thing as air gap anymore? It just doesn't matter. You don't have to be plugged in. When you're talking on a telephone, you don't have to have that cord hooked into your wall.
Yeah.
You know, air gaps make no difference anymore.
You've been working a lot with Dr. Douglas Frank, who's another one of my heroes. He has proven time and time again to all these different, he goes to all these counties. There's 58 in California?
Mm-hmm.
He's been to, I think, all of them. And he's worked with guys like you, the ROVs, Registrar of Voters, and the clerks and so on, and has shown them when they say, oh, no, you can't tap into this. He'll sit right there and do it in front of them. Go, oh, really? Well, let's watch this.
Right, because it's not the case. And they don't even know. In fact, they're not even allowed to know. They're not allowed to test it. They're not allowed to check it. They can't do anything. And by not being able to do anything, they're just doing blind faith. Well, then, you know, it's perfect. You can't tap into that. How do you know? Well, I don't, because I didn't do anything to find out, right? But you're not allowed to.
This is brilliant what you're doing with the counting on camera before and after it's run through the machine.
Because it doesn't matter if the machine cheats you or
It
not.
doesn't take that much money.
Right.
As a matter of fact, it's a cheaper way to go, isn't it?
Cheap. It's because basically, well, not
It
only
costs you like $1,800 to set this all up.
for the entire county.
Yeah.
For each of your tabulators, it costs about $300 to set up with the phones and the other things, you know.
How much do the little fake vote counters cost? Sorry, alleged fake vote counters cost. How much do they cost?
Tabulators are pretty expensive. You probably have $100,000 in each one of them.
Yeah, at least.
So, but
And you have to, according to the state of California, use those now, period.
Yeah.
Very dirty. Whole damn thing so dirty.
but if they're perfect, then they're perfect.
Mhm.
You'll have video to do it. Now in Shasta County, everybody knew I was watching it because you got a little thing, including the vendor, and our machines were perfect.
How about that?
How about that? So we had no misses. We had no big, number of extra votes that had no voter tied to them, because most of these counties have that. In fact, Shasta had 2,800 more votes than voters in the previous election. And I just came back from Riverside, where supposedly, and I don't know because I haven't validated their stuff, they had 45,000 more votes than voters. And that's a problem. You should never have more votes than actual voters to vote them. It makes no sense. But instead, they just kind of go, oh, well. And down there, because I was talking to the Board of Supervisors, the ROV said, well, the people who did the logs, because they based it on the logs, right? We're going to count them and get all the logs done and add it together and then see how many votes we have. And he discounted the work his own staff did to make the logs and said they're tired. It's a long day, all this. And so they're 45,000 behind. And it's like, that does not make sense. So hopefully, we can get on board, because if you do it this way, there's no question. You can actually check and say, are there 45,000 more votes starting out before you ever count anything else? Because once you have the recording, you can't do it again. You can't go back and go, oh, I'm missing 40,000 votes. Let's put some more in.
Yeah.
Like they did in Georgia. Except I
Not
think that was
just Georgia.
300,000, wasn't it, or something
President Trump, it's no accident that he used the term that there's truckloads of evidence of voter fraud in California, and they're about to disclose it. I don't know when, where, how, but I can't wait. But it's not an accident. He said truckloads.
Well,
There were semi-trucks full of fake ballots
Oh, were there?
that were discovered down in SoCal.
well, another problem with the system they have is that they have made it so that they can actually get rid of all the extra ballots. Whenever you have an election, you have extra ballots in case someone comes into a precinct and needs to vote that ballot. So you order 25% more than you need, even though everybody has a ballot, sometimes 2 or 3, but you have to order extras. Well, if they order,
A friend of mine received 5 ballots to his home, and he's been in the same place for over 20 years just by himself.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And so what they've done, and what they did in Shasta County before I got there, was they actually made a retention rule that they could destroy all of those immediately after the election,
Yeah, and that's something.
which means you've lost that evidence of all these extra ballots that could be inserted. And while the state says you have to count them, they're not counting them. In fact, they weren't even counting them before. They were just taking the books and sticking them in there. So I changed it to put them in these plastic bound areas. They had to actually count through them, because you can take one out of the middle of the book and you've got to vote. It's that easy. And but what I didn't know is that they had this retention schedule, and now they destroyed them immediately and didn't count them. So
In Shasta County.
yeah, in Shasta County. So that won't happen next time, now that I know what they're trying to do. But it's a good way to cover your trail, isn't it? I mean, if you do a lot of inserting in the beginning and then you're done, and then at the end, you just destroy it. No public oversight. No one else is counting them. Even in the best of situations, it's a terrible situation.
There's one question you didn't answer, though. Maybe it's because you don't want to, or maybe you just kind of forgot the question.
What's the question?
Ballpark percentage of registrar of voters, election clerks like you who are actually interested in free and fair elections.
I don't know. We'll have to find out.
You know them all, though, don't you?
I don't know them all. I've only been here since May.
Okay.
So I don't know. There are several that I've talked to that seem ready to embrace it. They're a little afraid of, having the Secretary of State come down and argue with them. But everything's on the up and up. Just make sure that your system is clean and they'll have no complaints.
Secretary of State we have now is just an absolute train wreck. Shirley Weber, wobble,
She's
but
been
she
doing it a
doesn't
while,
fall down.
so,
She's been doing it a while, but look how dirty our elections are. So I put her right at the top of the dirtiness. I pray for you. I pray for your safety. I pray for your health. I pray for your success. I pray that you are effective. And
Well, that'll be up to you.
it is,
the
but
rest of the citizens
and
of
the
this-
Lord,
Right.
Lord willing, He protects you and keeps you healthy and keeps you safe. Because
Yeah.
I know you've probably got a lot of enemies in the deep
I got
state
a
of
death
California.
threat the minute I fired the assistant, who's now running against me, by the way. But I got a death threat carved into the trunk of my car. So we've had a lot of issues with I call them my little moronic socialist people, and they're up there yelling, screaming. They're just idiots. They're crazy, and they do that all the time. Every board meeting, they're up there screaming. And it used to be Kevin Cry, but now that I'm on the scene, they yell about me and Kevin Cry. So I'm pretty thankful for that, because that's pretty nice, Only if they ever support you do you want to run and go, oh no, I'm doing something
That's what I always
wrong.
say too. If there's some people, if they're friends of mine and they like me, I'm doing something wrong.
I'm doing something wrong.
Well, you're one of my heroes, sir. You're
Thank you,
absolutely
sir.
one of my heroes, and I pray for your success. I really do. Thank you so much. You're going to be on the stage tonight and part of this Take Our California Back event in Stockton and at the Harvest Bible Church. As a matter of fact, it's where we are. If you're in the area, you have time to come down. It starts at 6:30, 10088 Highway 99. Just put that in your GPS, 10088 Highway 99, Harvest Bible Church. It's an honor, sir. It's
Thank
an
you,
honor.
sir.
I think you're fantastic.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. So we're going to get some more of the candidates on. We're going to be talking with them. I'm just going to leave this live stream going. Hello, Freedom Riders. Hello. Some folks from Freedom Riders 1776 are here. I just love them. And you want to go on the air? Oh, don't be scared. You've done it before. She said, I know. That's why I've said no. All right. Sandy, you want to go on? I don't know. Talk about what you're doing here and what you think about what's happening in the state of California. You'll pass too. They're scared. They're scared. John McBride is going to be here too. He's running for Congress, and I want you to meet him as well. And we'll continue. I'm going to, in the meantime, throw down a couple of little videos here that I think you might get a kick out of, like this one.
Okay. Well, for one thing, the United States.
For heaven's sake.
What's the news from the outside world, Kurt? Well, for one thing, General Ulysses S. Grant has been elected president of the United States.
What did I tell you, fellas? The next president will be a Republican.
A Republican? You tell. I never knew there was anything except Democrats.
Womp womp. Jim Shoemaker. Come on over.
Hey, you.
Come on over. Go on the air with me. Howdy, howdy. Well, be darned. Hello, brother.
Jim Hicks.
Uh-huh.
Hey.
Come on in. Come
I
on
should
into.
have brought my.
What-
I should have brought my stand, huh?
I know you should have.
I see they got that, huh?
This is Jim Shoemaker. He's been on my show many times, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not enough. I need to do it more often because I became a fan of his when I attended a California Republican Assembly convention down in Bakersfield. And Jim comes riding up on his Harley, and I'm like, who's this dude? And he comes in hooting and hollering and wearing the hat, and I'm like, okay, this is my kind of people right here.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Baby.
We've been friends ever since.
Amen.
You are running for Assembly, California State Assembly.
The 9th Assembly District, you bet.
Which is same as Carl DeMaio. So you'd be working with him
Yes.
in the Assembly, right?
You bet.
And from there, I'd love to see you be senator. That'd be awesome.
Oh, hey, let's slow down.
Let's
Let's
get rid
slow
of
down. Let's slow
Adam
down.
Schiff and Scott Wiener got to go.
Hey, amen.
Bring in the
all for that.
Bring in the Shoemaker. Come a
There
little
you go.
closer here. Would you? Come a little
Okay,
closer.
let's get in here.
Tell me something that you were telling everybody at the press conference that just stunned me. I had no idea.
Oh, on the water.
About that. Here's the deal.
water. Yeah. You know,
we are not keeping our water, even though I don't remember when that election was, but we overwhelmingly said, yes, set this money aside to start storing water.
yeah, to build storage. Yeah, back in 2014
Is that it?
when we passed the Water Bond Act, and we were supposed to start building more water storage.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when you look at the bigger picture, what we've been dealing with over the years, and why we keep dropping so much water through the Delta, and understand all our water goes through the Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so instead of sending it down south or into the farming area where we could recharge the aquifers, the farmers get their allotments of water.
Right,
which
you
they're
have water in
entitled
the
to.
reservoirs for big fires, like
like
Palisades.
Yeah, and the Palisades and all over. I mean, when you understand, they're dumping water to flush out the bay. San Francisco has been polluting the bay along with all the cities in the bay because they haven't updated their wastewater treatment plants. And so they dump raw sewage. Well, to flush the bay out, you have to run more water through that to flush it out into the ocean.
Isn't that illegal?
And so, well,
Isn't that
it should.
kind of pollution illegal?
Well, this is where these green environmental whack jobs, they don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to look in the mirror and realize they're the ones causing this problem because they don't want to do what's necessary. So they keep voting in these same screwballs that we deal with in Sacramento. Now, when you look at our state water board and the jeopardizing that they're causing our farmers, our people in the Central Valley to have the necessary resources to take care of what they're doing and growing our crops and everything else. This is a problem that we've been dealing with for a long time. So we need to flush the state water board down the toilet and start putting
so they'd wind up into the bay.
Yeah, there you go. Let them go live in that mess, because they're creating a cesspool. Mm-hmm. So what we have to do is we need to start getting back to being responsible with the water. Our state receives enough water every year, even in rain, to supply 100% of the needs of the people, the farms, and the businesses of this state. But we have an opportunity just outside of that we need to change all of these people. Most of them are appointees of the governor. So we're dealing with the fact that as we come up to this election cycle and we have some pretty good candidates for governor, that we could change that. At the same time, we need to replace our state, a number of our assemblymen at the same time, especially some on our side that aren't even doing the job they should be doing. That's why I'm running. I've come over here at this point in time. I've now been endorsed by probably the most constitutional conservative congressman we have in the state. I received, McClintock's endorsement. I have received the majority of endorsements from our local central committees that make up the counties that encompass this district I'm in. I've received, I will end up with a state party endorsement even at this point because I've received.
Wait, you think so?
Oh, I don't think so. I did.
For office before,
Yeah.
and you haven't gotten a lot of traction with our own California GOP.
Well, this time I have. I have cornered 83% of the district, and in the Republican Party, you need 80% to end up with an endorsement from the state. So we have 5 counties that make up the 9th Assembly District, and I have got San Joaquin County endorsement. I have Stanislaus County endorsement, and I have Amador County endorsement also. I have also just found out just a few days ago, I now have received the San Joaquin County Young Republicans endorsement also. So we're garnering a whole lot of grassroots. I've got city councilmen. I got board of supervisors that make up this district. I have a lot of endorsements and support from the regular people.
You're doing this by going to the central committees, aren't you?
I am.
Mark Wright, who's now part of the executive board with the California GOP, is the chair of Placer County.
Yes.
That'd be nice to have you come and speak there. And while you're there, hit El Dorado and hit YOLO.
Yeah. Well, the thing is my this ninth encompasses Sacramento, Amador, Calaveras, Stanislaus, and San Joaquin County. So right now I have got the local support from all over the district here and the majority. And so this is kind of so unique. We have numerous electeds that are kind of sitting, waiting to see, but in the background, they're very supportive. So, but around
Why
here,
are they sitting, waiting, and seeing?
well, when you take on an establishment, you have many issues that you have to deal with,
Including enemies in your own party.
Yes, and you know me long enough. I'm the people. I'm one of us, and I've been in this fight a long time, trying to represent us, protect our republic that we have in this state, and try to return common sense back. So that's been the real focus. So not just the water, but the regulatory aspects that we're dealing with that are affecting us from a business standpoint, an energy standpoint, which, energy is everything in this state that reflect in.
But yet our own governor has torn down 4 dams now at this point.
Yeah, we're having that's an issue that we have.
Hydroelectric power was great. It's easy. It's cheap.
This is what we've been dealing with, and the bigger problem in all of that is we have a lack of energy in this state because we've shut down our natural gas plants, our coal-fired plants, nuclear, and because of that, we're buying Chinese-made solar panels. We're buying Chinese windmills that cost us, billions of our dollars that would be paying workers here in the state of California is going to China.
And we saw the stupidity of it all just a few years ago when Texas had that big freeze.
That's right.
All their solar and all their wind.
And had no power.
Nothing.
And no power. So when we look at everything that we're dealing with in this state, it's self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
This is caused by our elected from governor on down. They have created the problem that we're dealing with today. And the only way to fix this is we need to replace and look at Democrats have controlled this state for 25 years solidly, and all of that. So I'm just saying that what we're dealing with right now is we need to have a shift. We need to remove these screwballs and scumbags that we've been dealing with.
Those are good words.
Because they're the reason we have the problem.
Yeah.
When we have a party that doesn't know what a woman is, and you want them to be in charge, and then they're scared that they don't want to have voter ID when they think everybody's stupid.
What I can't believe how blatantly and openly Chuck Schumer, creep from New York, is literally saying that if you force us to show IDs to be able to vote, it's going to exclude blacks and women.
Yeah, well,
blacks and women are too stupid to know how to get a driver's license.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. How do you respect a party or the people of that party that believe that? We have a very smart and educated populace today. And I'm going to tell you, that's an embarrassment to call anybody stupid that can't get an ID.
Right.
We need an ID for everyone. And then to be hypocritical like the Democrats are when they will not allow their own members to their own state parties to vote unless they show an ID. So how do you do that? How do you not?
Irony is delicious.
There you go. This is the whole point. So with Democrats being that stupid, I would be embarrassed to be part of that party that sits there and treats people so foolishly and tries to degrade people that way.
Yeah.
Look I'm going to tell you right now, no party's perfect. There's all challenges everywhere. But at the end of the day, I would rather be part of something that respects all the people and understands they have an ability to think for themselves and do the right thing. And that's where we're coming from. My campaign for this ninth Assembly District right now, we're moving forward. We're garnering support from everywhere. We're getting it from across the lines. I mean, independents, Republicans. I'm getting Democratic support. I'm getting people from all over because they're tired of the nonsense that we're putting up with in Sacramento. And so this right now, we're on trajectory to take this seat.
You were the very first person I've heard running for office, and I've never heard anybody holding elected positions now talk about what's going on in San Francisco. With them dumping sewage into the bay, so they have to flush it out with the water through the delta. I thought it was all about the delta smelt to protect sweet little fish.
When we look at all that's going on with our delta and our supply water, you can start to see a pattern here. They don't allow us to clean out the channels.
We can't dredge the delta.
We can't dredge the delta.
We used to all the time,
because you have soot coming down.
And you had big ships coming through there, coming up there from San Francisco, and now they can't even come up any further.
No, we're having problems everywhere, which also limits the water flows through the delta and into our pumps. But now we're also dealing.
Creates flooding too.
Exactly. And so the other thing that we're dealing with is we're dealing with this what is it? I can't. It attaches to ships. It comes in the bilges, and
the dredge. You're talking about the basically
that little animal that's coming up the delta right now.
Oh, got it. Oh, the mussels.
The mussel, yeah.
An invasive species.
The invasive mussel that now is infiltrating pumps all up and down the state. This thing is so invasive that what we're dealing with now is farmers have pumps in the delta to pump water. Within a very short period of time, they're plugged up. They can't pump. These things are so bad now that they're getting into our water supply areas, and our reservoirs, and it's spreading. Now, this is all caused because, you want to protect the borders. Where's our guys that used to inspect ships when they came into the harbors?
We're bringing the mussels in with them.
We're bringing the mussels and in their bilges. And when they're bringing them in their bilges, we used to have a program that would limit that so it couldn't be done inside our ports. And these Chinese ships are coming in, dumping their bilges, and this is how we ended up with this invasive mussel. So this is another problem we are dealing with, our farmers are dealing with, our state is having to deal with, and it's affecting the recreation.
I can't even imagine how to deal with that now at this
point. Well, it has.
Is there a mussel killer? Can you call in pest control?
Yeah. Oh, that's what we're trying to find. The state, they're trying to find an answer to stop this because the millions.
Are they really trying?
Yeah, they are now because this is affecting so many.
They give money to NGOs, the mussel NGOs.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the Somali
anti-mussel defamation league.
Somali, child care facilities.
The mussel Leering Center.
Yeah, exactly. But when we're dealing with all of this is stuff that is self-inflicted. Yeah. This is something that we had a program to watch and protect.
The high-speed rail is not going to pay for itself, son. That money's got to be used for something.
I don't know. They're throwing our money away everywhere they can.
Yeah.
I know they didn't give me any.
No.
No, I don't know. Maybe they gave it to you. I'm not sure. But
no, sir.
But this is our problem. Accountability, we don't have any. We're looking at where we are with the environment. We're looking at the water. We're looking at all of these issues that affect everything that we deal with from just living here in the state of California. Our cost of living's high. Why? Because our energy costs are high.
How about that? And we've had how many refineries leave now? Shut down completely? Valero, Phillips 66, that's Exxon's right. Gone.
Yeah, and
we got $8 a gallon gasoline coming by this summer. Probably.
It's coming, and right now we're shutting pipelines down because we don't have enough flow going through them. and you can't afford to be trucking all of that crude oil to the refineries. That adds another cost.
As much as Governor Hairdo hates Texas and Florida, a lot of oil is coming from there, isn't it?
Not to us.
Not to us.
Not to us.
No, we're buying from Iran.
We're buying from all over the world.
Saudi.
Yeah, and people don't understand.
We were buying from Venezuela.
Yeah, well, the Trump might send one of those confiscated ships our way. So
Thank you, President Trump.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe one. But our dilemma comes down to, because of our elected officials, our governor, our leaders within the legislature, they keep passing all these crazy bills and regulations on top of regulations. We're receiving refined oil into our state from other countries. So now all those great paying jobs at these refineries are somewhere else. So our own economy is suffering. When Valero shuts down, you're losing, I forgot what they are. They're about 8-9% of that oil supply in California. Now
the gasoline supply.
The gasoline. Now the other thing is there's
and diesel.
Yeah, and there's an issue because they were also a supplier to the United States military. So now you're dealing with a national emergency if there's a military issue, because there's only so many refineries that we have on the West Coast. And I believe Chevron down in El Segundo is the last major refinery that supplies military fuel and stuff. So California, like the Valero plant, I think it's Richmond. It's in Richmond. I think, if I remember correctly, it's like 78 or 87% or something of the budget for the city of Richmond.
Yeah, Benicia. So when you look at the fact that where's that city going to get its budget from? Now here's the other problem. These same cities used to file lawsuits against the refinery. So it's like shooting your golden goose. Oh yeah.
The golden goose that was dropping millions of dollars into an economy for the nonprofits to take care of all those little things that they like to do outside of the tax structure that was being supplied.
Speaking of corporations, big companies leaving,
Yeah.
that are hurting the local economy where they employed so many. Anheuser-Busch.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
that got to do to Fairfield? They're gone. They're gone.
Well, think of it. Think of the beer. Where does the hops come from? That affects the farmers. That affects the trucking industry. That affects everything else. Take Hillmar leaving, that supplies all the cheese for pizza, all your Parmesan cheese. They built $1 billion factory in Texas. Okay, now your pizza is going to cost another $2 more now just to get the same cheese on it, because it's coming from out. But here's the thing: people need to understand is the effects of one company and how it affects so many other areas.
Right.
And that is just like with that cheese. All the dairy, say they take in 150,000 gallons of milk a day to produce that cheese. What are all the farmers that were supplying that? What are they going to do? Now, what about the trucking? What about the feed? What about all?
Many of those trucking companies aren't not coming into California because of, again, regulations.
Exactly, overregulation and all the other. So we are at the breaking point in California. The billionaires are leaving. You can't keep taxing people and think they're going to stay. We have the right to leave. They're going to leave. And so they are. The businesses are leaving that supply the tax base to the state of California.
You know, they passed a law. I love how the Democrats love to pass laws without us getting any say in them.
Yeah.
That now they're going to start taxing people who move out of the state.
Well,
how do they do that?
Well, that's how nuts this really is.
And it's happening.
Well, they're going to try, but it's illegal for them to do that. It's unconstitutional.
They don't care.
Well, that's the problem with California. Here's the worst one. Say you worked for California and you were under the CalPERS or STRS retirement. Who controls that? California. So if they want to tax you when you leave, you're messed up.
They're going to do it automatically.
That's
They'll
right.
take it right out of the payment that's supposed to be going to you.
You're going to lose it. And because of that, I mean, think about that. So if you work for the state today, or you have anybody involvement in that, you better reconsider putting a little more away on your own private Roth IRA to protect yourself. Because if the state can control your retirement, what's going to happen?
There's this new investment too I've heard about called gold and silver. Seems to be doing pretty well. I don't know.
I wish I had bought more.
I know, exactly. I wish I actually had some. The string from my grandfather's all I got.
Yeah,
the silver I've got.
Well, hang on. How much is that worth?
I don't know. Well, now more.
Yeah.
You're an absolute joy. I consider you a great friend. I admire you and respect you, and you don't quit.
No, we're in a battle.
So where do we find you? How do we
go to what is it? Vote Shoemaker 2026.com.
Shoemaker,
that's our website.
Like making shoes.
Yeah. When you see that, there you go.
Vote Shoemaker 2026.com.
That's it.
Pleasure, my friend. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
All right,
God
sir.
bless
Go
you.
get him. He's going to be on stage tonight. Hello, Cal. How's it going, Mike? Hey. Cal is here from, he's with, that's right, with John Birch Society, JBS. Last time when I was up in Reading, he went on the air with me. First time going on the air with me. That was nice. So we'll continue. Here comes Dr. Douglas Frank and John McBride running for Congress. I'm waiting for David Collenberg to come in. He's running for governor. Hello, Cal.
How's it going, Charlie?
You going to go on the air with me, or are you scared?
Sure, I don't mind.
Really?
Yeah, I don't mind.
He hates being on camera for the most part. He doesn't normally go on the air with me, but here you are. Come on up. Come on up.
It's still legal to be on the air.
It is.
Try not
still
to be
legal,
air.
Although the social media has shut me down almost completely.
Oh yeah.
All of my Facebook pages were taken away. Come on up just a little bit more, would you?
Yeah,
please?
yeah.
There you go. Cal, you're here representing the John Birch Society, as you always are. I appreciate what you all do so very much. I'm glad to see people finally waking up in our own party and going, hey, you know these JBS people? They may have been right all along.
I think people are waking up to a moral basis. When I met with G. Edward Griffin, I asked him, I said, what are some examples of a moral basis, or how does a moral basis help create a free society? And he gave a very good answer, and it's in history, and Cicero even talked about it quite a bit. And if you go back to these foundational principles,
Cicero, he's like an assemblyman, right? Isn't he? What district is he?
One of the Greek.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm just a good old boy from Bakersfield. I can't even spell Cicero.
From Greece, yes. Well, there's a lot of great books that help us understand the foundational roots of the principles of liberty by which the Constitution was established. As Benjamin Franklin said, the essence of liberty is a limitation on government. And so that's partly what the John Birch Society does, is help to publish the essential parts of why the and I didn't pose for that flash, but that's okay. But studying the how our representatives vote. So there's 4 basic things to restoring freedom in America. The first is we have to have a moral basis. Otherwise, we don't deserve a better government than we are, do we? And so we must be righteous. We must have some moral basis. There is rights and wrongs. There is honesty, and we want to strive for that honest side of this pendulum, so we can swing to have the Lord's blessing and helping to raise up mighty fine individuals like Charlie.
I pray for that.
Others.
I pray for that.
And it's in prophecy. It's in the way that history is.
Nothing changes until good people run for office.
Yes, and the people have to deserve it. So we're seeing a lot of an increase of that. Second is learning the principles of the Constitution and other founding documents that help limit government. And then also we must see that we're properly represented. And that's where the oath of office and Article 6 comes in, and helping to hold them accountable. And that's why this Freedom Index scorecard is so vital, because it holds our elected officials accountable. And we also
I love this. You're going to find this at their website too, by the way. You want to know how your elected representative is actually voting?
Yeah.
You find it at jbs.org.
And, I was amazed that the John Birch Society, I think they must have had wonderful, wonderful donors who probably donated millions of dollars that went right into publishing scorecards on state representatives across the U.S. So as a national organization, they have exceeded, I think, they have exceeded the standard in such fine in diligent ways that one only has to go to jbs.org, click on Freedom Index, search your representatives, look how they voted, and ask them if
You're
it's
thinking,
really true.
I like that Kevin Kiley guy. He says some good stuff. I've watched a couple of things that he posts, and he seems like he's doing a really good job. And then you look up the voting record. That tells a different story.
And when we show
I'm
them,
not picking on Congressman Kiley, other than he won't go on my show anymore, which is always suspect to me.
well, when we show them the scorecards, we say, look, this only represents how you vote constitutionally. It may not represent your popularity.
Right.
So eventually it will, though. So you may want to be cautious about how you vote because, here's an example.
We are watching.
Here's an example of Ami Bera. He has all X's, and he's got a lifetime score of probably 0, but here's his 0 in this session.
He just, whatever the DNC tells him to do, that's how he votes.
And we highly recommend, everyone look at the Freedom Index scorecard. So seeing that we have proper representation is third, and fourth is to be involved in our civic duty process, run for office, and training people, helping people to be very efficient. And why waste time doing this whole thing, this political stuff? Just get back to principles. If you have principles, run for office and hold the line. Otherwise, why are you trying to run for office? If you're not going to follow the oath, don't even enter the race.
I think maybe it was Mark Twain who said that politics is what is it? No, it wouldn't have been Mark. What is it? Hollywood for ugly people, or a theater for ugly people? It wouldn't have been Mark Twain. My apologies. I don't even know who Cicero is. So,
well, yeah, you do. You've probably heard his quotes a lot. As a matter of fact, in one of my great books, it's that book by Cleon Skousen. W. Cleon Skousen wrote a book called The 4,000-Year Leap. And there's quotes about that. Cicero quoted, "Don't ever let medical services be provided by your government because they will poison you." Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. I don't have the exact quote memorized, but here's another publication that the New American did. This is called a reprint of one of our magazines regarding the United Nations, Power Grab. And everybody who's learned about Agenda 21 learned probably that, I would say, back to when William Jasper went to Rio in '92, and the UN established this treaty that reeled everybody in 175 countries into the UN's program of sustainable development. And
started off Agenda 21. Now it's like Agenda 2035. They keep pushing it out and pushing it out. But what he's talking about is the United Nations.
Because we've helped publish information.
It is the United Nations plan for the one world government, the new world order. That is the bottom line, what it is.
Yeah, and pushing it out is really important. Push it out till it never gets established.
until the UN is gone.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that I
pray that President Trump follows through on the little hints he's dropped about the United Nations. But yet, even though we had not been paying into it, they've been screaming that we're causing them to go broke because we're not paying the money that we owe them. We owe them. They're here in the United States of America. They're on our soil, and we pay more than any other country to be in the United Nations. And now President Trump has said, "Oh, okay, we'll pay it."
Part of that is because of the language of the principles. And I love the quote that summarizes it best, certainly for everybody who's new to the UN idea. The quote is by Ezra Taft Benson. He said, "Whereas the Constitution is founded on the ideas of limited governmental power, the United Nations Charter is founded upon the ideas of unlimited governmental power with no meaningful restraints."
These creeps during the Obama administration started shouting that they wanted to be the police force for the world with their little light blue helmets.
Yeah,
it's scary. It's insane.
Oh yeah, last time I did an interview with you, I said I'm trying to get on the endangered species list, and I really think I deserve to be.
I think you do too,
and I know you do too.
Cal Clark, I know you got to get inside. Thank you, Calvin. All right, this whole event is about to start. It's at the Harvest Bible Church, which is in Stockton at 10088 Highway 99. 10088 Highway 99. Let me see what time it is. Hold on a quick second. Thank you. I'm not wearing my glasses. This is terrible. It's 6:35, so the event is kicking off. I wanted to get some more folks on, but they're about to actually start. It's a debate going on and basically a conference of conservatives who are running for office in the state of California. We need that more than ever before. I thank you so much for joining me here for this event. I hope that you will share this with others. Let them see the people I had on, hear what they have to say, because there was some really good integral information that just came out, especially Jim Shoemaker telling us about what's going on with our sewage being dumped by the city of San Francisco into the San Francisco Bay. The reason why we have to have all this water instead of keeping it and preserving it for all of us, flushing it down the delta to flush out the bay and the sewage that they're dumping. I had no idea. I'd never heard that before till Jim Shoemaker. So it is beginning now. I'm going to sign off, but I want to thank you for sharing these shows and helping get the information out that way. Because I don't have social media really anymore. I've been deplatformed so much now because I have people like this on, because I talk to the people you're not supposed to talk to. CharLee Simons is my website, CharLeeSimons, CharLeeSimons.com. Please go there if you want to give, you want to help support this ministry. I would sure help it. I would sure appreciate it tremendously. Or buy some merchandise in the merch store there. You'll be helping the show also. And hit this QR code for newwaveoflife.com/CharLee Simons. It is all naturally derived, American-made, extraordinary company. And I'm glad to be a part of it. So just hit that QR code and like this show while you're at it. Would you please hit that like button? That helps with the algorithms. And if you comment down below, that also helps too. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to share with you before I go.
Harbor and head north for Jamaica.
No, let's try it again and do it right.
Ship out of the harbor and head north for Jamaica.
North to Jamaica, but Captain, the treasure lies
Get to the north lies danger. To the south is sea. Get this ship out of the harbor and head north for Jamaica.
north to Jamaica, but Captain, the treasure lies south.
To the north lies danger. To the south is safety.
We are always certain of friends in the south.
Oh, a Democrat, huh?
May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.